Welcome friends to my new channel with another video. As always, if you enjoy these videos, please make sure to hit subscribe button. Our story is by Thrower Brewmaster. I, 43M, royally screwed up my anniversary and upset my 42F wife. Help. Tomorrow is my 25th wedding anniversary with my wife. I love my wife more than any words I could type here. She is beautiful, funny and smart. She is everything I have always wanted, and truth be told, I do not deserve her. When we first got married, I was in the army. I missed more birthdays, holidays and anniversaries than I can count. And as much as I know this upset her, she never once got angry at me for it. She would just smile and tell me to go save the world. Even though I know behind that smile was a broken heart, she never once let that show. She is probably the strongest person I have ever met. I've been separated from the army for 10 years now. And I have tried my best to be there for every birthday, holiday and anniversary, even if it meant we celebrated on the day before or the day after. This year I planned on taking her on a trip for our 25th anniversary. We never got to have a honeymoon, we never even really had a vacation together. I thought that since the kids were grown and moved out, oldest is 22 and youngest is 20, that I was going to take her away for the weekend, just the two of us. I booked the hotel, the cabin, the dinner reservations, everything I could think of to make this special for her. It has been all she has talked about for the last month. She was so excited about this trip. She bought new clothes, got her hair done. I truly had never seen her so excited about anything before. Cut to Wednesday night. An emergency happened at work. All supervisors, which is me, and all hands on deck to fix this mechanical problem. We end up taking shifts sleeping at work to get this fixed. It is a catastrophic failure and nobody is leaving until we troubleshoot the problem and get it fixed. I call my wife and tell her that I am not coming home. She makes sure I am not hurt, nobody else got hurt, and then offers to bring us pizza. On Thursday afternoon we figure out what the problem is and what we need to do to fix it. At this point my general manager is here, I get the parts ordered, and then he drops the bomb. We are all working this weekend so that we can install the parts to get machines working again. My stomach dropped into my legs because I knew that I was going to have to go home and tell my wife that this trip was not happening. It made me physically sick. I actually went into the bathroom to throw up. I got home that evening and my wife could tell something was wrong. So I sat her down and told her that the trip was going to have to be postponed for another time. She just smiled and said that it wasn't my fault, that she understands and shit happens. While I was in the shower, she was unpacking the suitcases and for the first time in our marriage, I saw her cry because of something that I did. She was unpacking all her new clothes and she had tears in her eyes. And it broke my heart. I felt like the biggest piece of shit on the planet. I left for work early this morning and spent about an hour crying in the parking lot because it made me realize that my wife never let me see how disappointed and hurt she was. She holds it all in so that I don't worry about her. I was never under the delusion that me missing these things and having to cancel things did not affect her, but to actually see it broke my fucking heart. I do not know what to do to make his up to her. What do I do to make this up to her? I love my wife so much and it is killing me to know that something I did hurt her so badly. At this point I am desperate. What do I do to help my wife? Our story is by Thrower Alani. BF breaks up with me because I went to a female friend's house and lied that I actually went to my parents' house. TLDR. I 26F lied to my boyfriend 30M and instead of going straight to my parents' house, I went to my friend's F26, who my boyfriend thinks is a stupid degenerate, and spent a few hours talking and drinking beer with her before going to my parents' home. The boyfriend somehow found out about it and is now completely disappointed in me and wants to break up. Please help me understand if what I did was really so awful. My boyfriend and I have been together for 5 years. We fight now and then, but we are happy the rest of the time. We've been through a lot together. He's nice, very smart and ambitious, he's done a lot for me. I've done a lot for him too. There is a friend that I haven't talked to in 7 years because I was offended when she forgot several times that we were supposed to meet. Before that happened, she and I had been using amphetamine for 2 years. I haven't been a user for 5 years and I'm not going to use again. Last year I didn't even drink alcohol, now I've started again. She contacted me after all these years and we met. My boyfriend also met her, she came to our house and after talking to her, he thought that she was a dumb degenerate because she didn't work and wasn't successful. When they were talking no one said anything rude and my friend liked my BF factually. She is a really talented artist but she doesn't post her drawings anywhere on social media. We've known her since kindergarten and we were friends at school. It was fun to talk to someone who shared my childhood. We also have similar taste in music and TV shows. I always thought she was a smart person. My friend has a problem with alcoholism, she often drinks beer. Since she and I met in October, I have started drinking more often than before, but no more than 2 or 3 times a week. I realize this doesn't show me on my best side, and I'm already working on it. I've to Kenny work with my boyfriend, and he is often unhappy with me because I have little motivation. I'm better at it now though. I'm also on antidepressants after I realized 3 months ago that our arguments were affecting me abnormally hard. I felt a lot of emotional pain and often cried when he started yelling or calling me names. Now I'm reacting much more calmly. I met with this friend once in October, then 10 days later I took her to a therapist. She was nervous to go alone, whom I recommended her. The second time was yesterday. I first told my BF I wanted to see her and he was very against it, and then I said I wouldn't see her. I lied because yesterday I told my BF that I was going to visit my parents, but in fact I stopped by her place first and we talked and drank beer for a few hours, and then I went to my parents and talked to them some more. Our kitten had recently died and I needed support. I realized that's no excuse for lying. I can't stand lying. I have very few friends and it's hard for me to make new ones. I just don't feel like it. He somehow found out that I was with her and now he says that he doesn't want to talk to me anymore and that I'm just as degenerate as she is. And that I am a traitor. We bought kittens 6 months ago, one of them died on December 3rd and the second one is now sick with the same disease and we are treating her together. He will stay in my apartment while we treat the kitten and then leave and take the kitten. I'm crushed. He's never been so angry before. Said he and I are very different, that I'm lower than him and don't deserve him. I don't understand. Usually when something like this happens I cry, but now I can't even cry, but I'm in a lot of pain. I lied and it's shitty and wrong, but I just wanted to see her and do it in a way that doesn't make my BF mad. I love him very much and care about him and try to do everything I can to make him happy. We were going to move to another country in a few months and now all our plans are ruined. What should I do? Edit, grammar. Also. He's already talking to me in a normal, not mad, voice and smiles and laughs. I'm just tired. Earlier today he yelled again because I didn't quite understand his question and answered to the question that he didn't ask. That didn't affect me. I need a few calm days. I'll make an update post in a few days or weeks. Our story is by deleted. Now that I, F30, am a parent I deeply resent the people in my life who failed me as a child. Long story short, I had a rough childhood. Homeless, lived in shelters, slept in cars, physical abuse, abuse, domestic violence. You name it. My mom had full custody. So all of the traumas are her transgressions, but my dad never stepped in to take me from her. He didn't send child support, I know for a fact. He would send school clothes once a year and fund a trip for me to see him once a year. My dad didn't know the extent of the abuse, but if he hadn't been an absent parent he would have known. When I turned 18, I became extremely distant from my mom, but would still visit every few years and answer her texts calls. Since I didn't directly correlate my abuse to my dad's negligence, I cling to the idea of a relationship with at least one of my parents. I have been a mother now for 2 years. I feel immense responsibility towards my daughter. I have made countless sacrifices and would do anything to ensure that she is fed, housed and given all of the tools necessary to thrive. I work with my therapist, I take parenting classes, I work so I can pay the bills. I'm giving my child a stable home life. Things my parents neglected to give me. But it's instinctual, the drive I feel when I look at her. How could my parents fail me so? So now, I haven't spoken to my mother since a few months before I gave birth. I tried to address my feelings towards the things she put me through and she became defensive. Unwilling to even acknowledge my emotions and apologize. It appalls me that she is a mother and did what she did. When I gave birth, my dad started a regular mantra of you don't matter now, the only thing that matters is your daughter. You must sacrifice everything for her. He would tell me he no longer cares about me and only cares about my daughter. Same guy who didn't sacrifice shit for me. He started telling me he didn't approve of how I ended up and he wanted me to be a doctor. As if he did everything he could for me and I failed. It's years later and they've forgotten their wrongdoings and feel like my anger is coming out of left field. The stronger the bond with my daughter becomes, the angrier I get towards my own parents. How do I let bygones be bygones? TLDR, now that I'm a parent, I resent my parents for being shitty parents. I didn't care before.